Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brooke Buckner. Here are some of the stories we're bringing you tonight. How old are your smoke detectors? We're sharing why one group is taking matters into its own hands to make sure people are safe during National Fire Prevention Month. And we're a little more than 2 weeks away from the 2024 presidential election. We have everything you need to know coming up. And a prank so good it feels like a movie. How a couple of staffers at an Arkansas high school created a fraudulent football team and duped news outlets, including THV11, for years. Thank you for choosing THV11 tonight. I hope you've been enjoying your Saturday. I'm joined now with meteorologist Simone Thomas. Simone, what can we expect for the rest of the weekend? Let me take a wild guess. No rain?
That's right, Brooke, no rain. And when you look at radar, everything looks quiet across the state. That is until you take a deeper look into Hot Spring County. Now, that small little blurb of green you see just northwest of I-30, that's actually smoke from a wildfire burning in Hot Spring County. Sometimes we can pick that up on radar, and this is about the only activity we're seeing on radar in the state this evening. We still can't squeeze any rain out of the forecast, which is why we're continuing to see high wildfire danger across much of central Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, into southern Arkansas, northeast Arkansas. Those few counties holding on to moderate wildfire risk. But as we continue through the coming days and we continue to not see rain, likely going to see more counties adding on burn bans. Right now, 55 counties under a burn ban. Lono County is holding on strong here in central Arkansas without that burn ban. But even if you live in Lono County, treat it like there is a burn ban, because as you just saw, still a high wildfire risk in that county. I'll have a look at the rest of the weekend and the days to come in your 7-day outlook, so make sure you stick around.
All right, thanks, Simone. And speaking of fire, when a smoke alarm starts blaring, you know the situation could turn deadly. But even more dangerous is when one stops working altogether. THV11's Carter Thweet tagged along with Red Cross today as they took matters into their own hands to keep the community safe.
Brooke, this was a joint effort between the Red Cross and the Pine Bluff Fire Department, going into homes that needed smoke detectors and helping those families out. And I know from tagging along that at least one family really appreciated it.
Going around door to door and assessing need and trying to get smoke alarms in homes.
Guy Riggins is a community disaster program specialist for the Red Cross. Their Sound the Alarm event took place Saturday, but the preparations have been going on for weeks.
We've done some marketing, we've gone door to door, we've done some door knocking, some door hangers, and we've worked with our partners in the community here to identify some good neighborhoods as far as the need.
That led Riggins and his team to the home of Dionne Bates Saturday morning. She says her home didn't have any smoke alarms, but that won't be the case any longer.
They came by my house and told me to set up an appointment if I was interested. It's good. We need these in the house. We have children. We want to make sure they're safe.
And that was another thing Saturday's effort focused on: education for homeowners, particularly with the kids in mind.
We talked about how we prepared the children in case of a fire, and we haven't did so now we know.
Saturday's event may be over, but Riggins says this effort isn't done, because any home they visit could be another life saved.
Every day we're dealing with folks that are experiencing home fires, so what we want to do is to try to lessen that impact in any way we can.
And Riggins says if you're interested in getting new smoke alarms or having your current ones fixed or checked, you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS to set up an appointment.
Thank you, Carter. THV11 is your election central, and we're now just a little more than 2 weeks away from Election Day. And early voting here in Arkansas is set to begin this upcoming Monday, October 21st. Here in Pulaski County, voters will be able to cast their ballot on machines in 13 early voting sites. There are also more than enough poll workers to help throughout this election cycle. Don't forget, you'll need to bring your photo ID with you to the polls. You can head over to our website, thv11.com, for more information. And there's a chance early voting opens Monday without knowing if votes for Issue 3 will be counted. The proposed amendment would greatly expand the state's medical marijuana program. The Secretary of State refused to count a number of signatures because of a paperwork dispute. Marijuana opponents are also challenging whether the ballot title is proper. And if that sounds familiar, it's because those questions mirror the ones raised in the fight over Issue 2. The High Court gave the green light to that ballot question earlier this week. If the court rules after hours before Monday, we will update you. During the first week of early voting, we're breaking down everything on the ballot so you're prepared when you cast your vote. From the issues to the races we're watching closely, 6:30 Central will be the go-to show for voters. And if you miss anything on 6:30 Central, it'll also be available on demand on THV 11+. That's our free streaming platform available on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV devices. Well, polls show the presidential race remains tight. In-person early voting kicked off today in Detroit, and both Harris and former President Donald Trump raised the rhetoric Friday as they crisscrossed the state.
She's not a smart person. She's not a person that should represent our country.
Donald Trump, one of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs in American history.
Elsewhere on the campaign trail, former President Barack Obama continues his efforts for Vice President Harris with a rally in Las Vegas. Coming up, a prank so good it feels like a movie. We're showing you how a couple of staffers at an Arkansas high school created a fake football team and duped news outlets, including THV 11, for years. That's right after the break.
And now that the sun is setting earlier, it's about to start getting dark soon. If you're headed out, wouldn't hurt to have a light jacket, because without the clouds as we head into the evening, we're going to start to cool off a bit quickly, getting into the 50s as early as the 10 o'clock hour when we're checking in again. I'll have your full forecast coming up after this break.